Alright, Tigers fans, we have just got a huge gift ahead of our clash against the Canberra Raiders coming up after our bye. We're going to be breaking down just some of the key points that we can be focusing on, things that we can exploit them on, and things that they are doing well to make sure that we are training even better. So before we do that though, my name is Jordy. Welcome back to NRL Deep Dive. This is your one-stop shop for all things West Tigers. It would mean the world to me if you like and subscribe to this channel, especially if you love the West Tigers as much as I do, and as much as all the subscribers do. So make sure you do that. And yeah, we got a big video today, so let's get into it. Let's take a quick look at the ladder. We see the Doggies are in first with 24 points. They've only lost 2 games. They have 10 wins. Then number 2 is the Raiders with 22 points. They have 11 wins and 3 losses with 0 byes. And so these are going to be our next guys coming up in, I believe it's round 16. So what we can expect from them is a lot. But before we get into those things, we got to look at where we're at. We're 14th at the moment. We are on the decline, but I believe with the right people on the field at the right time and the right plays and the right mentality, we can bounce back. And so when we look at the history against, Canberra Raiders and what our game history looks like with them, we've played 44 games since 1998 head-to-head. They've won 24, we've won 20, so they've definitely had the little advantage there. But we did win our last game. We destroyed them 48-24 in 2024, and then they won the game before that 32-12. This is our biggest area, I would say, of vulnerability is our losing streak that we are on, Tigers fans. I hate to say it, but we are coming off a 4-loss streak, and they're coming off a 4-win streak. The real question is, can they keep that going, or will they choke and gas out, and can we capitalize on that moment? So what do you guys think of that so far? Do you think that is going to be our biggest weakness, is going up against a team that is absolutely tearing it up this season, and then we've got fresh meat on our team. We've got new people coming in. Let me know your thoughts on all that. But let's get into our kind of attacking and defensive strategies. So what I'm kind of thinking here is things that we need to shut down. I don't want this to be a Raiders video. I want this to be a thing that we look at as Tigers fans and as a club, and we say, hey, this is what they're doing well, not so well. These are things we can capitalize on. And their first thing is powering through the middle. Canberra definitely relies on their big forwards, I think, to crash up the middle and to offload and keep those meters going. So what we need to do is have multiple defenders in those contact and tight ruck control situations, I think, to slow their momentum down. If we can do that, kind of gas out their big fellas off the bat, we could be just fine in that middle pack, but that is where a lot of the fight is going to be had coming from them, I believe. Next up is their predictable crash sets, and what I mean from this is they run pretty basic crash plays earlier in sets, like they even kick on 4th or 5th if nothing's open, and that's something that's pretty predictable, I would say. They stack defenders early, and then we will stack defenders early and anticipate the kick on 4th, especially when they're about 30 to 40 meters out. You don't see them running huge meters within games, and that's just my opinion. Danger on the edges is the next one. I think if they do go wide, though, they know how to create that space. So I think we need to be ready for that edge offload, that edge line break, and ensure that there is one-on-one tackles out wide, making sure that we're not keeping any overlaps going, making sure sin bins are under control, but also making sure that our boys are sticking to their man and not getting drawn in or sucked in. Next up is their kicking game. Their best attacking weapon, I think, is their kicking game. We're talking bombs, we're talking chips, and even their grubbers. Like, they are one of those guys, team that, like, they know how to kick, and they do it well, especially when they're near the red zone, the try line, right? So what we got to do, Tigers fans, is we have to contest every single kick, and we got to put pressure on them, like we saw for Jerome Luai this past game against the Panthers. We got to be putting that pressure before they can even launch the ball, and making sure that we are putting them on the ground before the ball touches their foot. So next up too is red zone stalling. So despite like all their strong sets that they know how to run, their attack, I think, often stalls inside the 20. It's like they start choking up. So I think we got to stay patient on our goal line, play that good defense that we saw earlier on in the season. We got to shut down their crash plays, their basic plays, and then force low percentage kicks. So making sure we're blocking, making sure we're contesting those high balls, those grubbers, getting to them in the goal, in the try line, making sure we're doing those things to shut down all of their plays. And if we can do that on their attack, my goodness, will we be unstoppable that night and stopping any points from leaking. Now, their defense, this is something that I think they have a lot of exploitation that we can capitalize on. And the first one being is their slow line speed. Their outside defenders get caught flat-footed, so I think we need to shift the ball wide quickly and exploit those edges. I want to see Jerome Luai, hopefully Heath Mason and Latu Fainu pushing that ball out the stuff to Toa, to Taruva, and even to some of our bigger second rowers that are out there. But as well, we are got to be thinking about this guy that we just signed on a train and trial deal, Taylan freaking May Batman. He should and could very well be in this next lineup against the Raiders. This was effective immediately, so I think we could definitely see him playing against the Raiders. And if that's the case, they don't stand a chance on his side, especially if he's linked up with either Skelton or Taruva. Those two are unstoppable. They're forces that you do not want to play with. And so what we also have to do is be soft through the middle. So what they're going to be doing is soft through the middle. So despite their big names, big bodies, they have definitely been exposed up the guts, especially when they're gas, and we've taken it on pretty hard. So we need to target them quick scoots from dummy half. We got to have those quick offloads, those quick play the balls, those quick dummy scoots, quick passes. Those things that Uppy can control, and Talon De Silva if he's on there as well. Another thing is that I noticed in their last few games, they are definitely penalty and error prone. They give away dumb penalties. They drop the ball under pressure. So let's play fast in their half. If we can do that, those quick taps, that aggressive line speed, and then let them kind of beat themselves, I think that would be a pretty decent game plan. That allows us to play simple, eyes up footy and get our rhythm down. But as long as we keep the defensive pressure on them and on attack as well when we're doing that, making sure we're coming at them so freaking hard that they are forcing themselves to make errors, that will be a huge key to success, I believe, in our game. Next is their vulnerability under the high ball. Multiple teams have definitely scored with bombs and chip kicks over them, so let's pepper them with those crossfield Jerome Luai chips, those Adam Dewey bombs, and those grubbers that we saw from Luai as well. And I want to see Latu Fainu be in there as well. So making sure we're putting those to our speedy men, Taruva, Toa, hopefully Taylan May, and even Heath Mason, for goodness sake. Like, we got to test their communication, see how good they are actually getting to those high balls and seeing if they can contest that. That will be something that we should focus on as well. And then finally, as we look into their defensive weaknesses, things that we can capitalize on, is their late game fatigue. They are definitely that team that crumble when under sustained pressure, constant pressure, especially late in their halves. Like, stick to that high intensity, fast play footy and look to break them in the final 20. And I could see us capitalizing on a lot of problems on their end and a lot of points on ours. Just from that, making sure that we're playing with intensity, with grit, and just with pressure the whole game and wearing them down, making them lose their own game. And we can just play that simple footy that we are definitely showing glimpses of. So Tigers fans, before we even go forward and play the game of NRL with the Canberra Raiders, how are you feeling this week as we go up with a bye? It's going to be a great rest again, but we do need to come back. We do have to, execute against the Raiders. We have to break that 4-loss streak and give them a loss in their 4-win streak. So what are your thoughts? Should we see Taylan May on the next roster? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, take care of yourself. Take it easy. My name is Jordy, and I'll see you in the next video.